Hanging out with the bcast. Having ourselves a party. So welcome back to the bcast.
Lucky number 13.
Number 13 for Halloween.
Woo!
It's like 31 backwards. So we just watched The Worst Witch. And it was awesome.
This is where J.K. Rowling stole all of her best works.
It really is like, I would say it was a Harry Potter ripoff if it didn't come out before Harry Potter. Like 10 years before Harry Potter. Like, even more than that.
I'd be willing to bet that if you went through her tape collection, there's a copy of Worst Witch somewhere.
Probably. Maybe all the books as well. Just trying to think.
We should just intro again. Hi, welcome to the bcast. I'm Valeria.
I'm Mike.
I'm Melissa.
And I'm Sethifus.
Seth wrote our intro song in approximately 3 minutes.
Around that much time.
So, yeah, The Worst Witch. We watched it. I don't know about anybody else, but Seth here brought this wonderful movie into my life. Him and his lovely wife here, they watch it every year around Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best Halloween movie ever for kids. That was a TV thing. Even better than the Olsen twins' Double Toil and Trouble.
That is a good one. So, saying that's better is quite a compliment.
Yeah.
I think.
It was way better than that. Which I watched about 37 times when it came out.
Yes.
That 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah.
But is it better than Hocus Pocus?
Ooh. Good
They're
Awesome.
on different...
Well, I wouldn't say maybe because there was a lot more conflict in Hocus Pocus. In this one, they were just like, well, you kind of suck at being a witch. Oh, hey, I stumbled upon the bad guys and murdered them into snails.
Murdered them into snails, and then murdered them back in eggs again.
Hocus Pocus was more like teen, though, wasn't it? Wasn't there like this lady that was a cat, and they needed a virgin? Or am I thinking
There was a guy that was a cat.
And he was a teen.
He was a teen, and there were the main actor in it was the guy who played the main part in Erie, Indiana.
I never really watched that show, even though it was local.
It's
and it was
quite
supposed
good.
to be, like I remember it being like really close to the Goosebumps TV show.
Yes.
Like similar time slots and out at about the same time.
I like Erie, Indiana a little better, personally.
Yeah. Well,
Goosebumps books were really good, but the series not quite as good.
I was invested in Goosebumps. I
understand.
I read the books. I remember after going to the movies one day at like a mall, we went to this bookstore and I saw the first Goosebumps book and I'm like, what is this? And I picked it up and there was only like 2 or 3 out at the time. Might have only been 2.
Mm-hmm.
R.L. Stein is still going.
Is he really?
He's still writing books.
Does
He's
he
not
do...
doing Goosebumps anymore, is he?
I don't know for sure if Goosebumps, but he's still doing like Fear Street.
He's still doing Fear
or something
Street?
like that. Maybe not Fear Street itself, but other books like that.
Same kind of vein.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's on Twitter. So
I read a couple of Fear Street books, and I remember they were like, there was a little bit more kind of mature tween content.
Yeah.
I read some books of his besides Goosebumps. I read The Beast about the roller coaster, I think.
Yeah.
I don't really remember much, and I think there was a sequel. And then they had one of those rides in an arcade that was like it was a movie, but it moved.
Oh, okay.
That was supposed to be that roller coaster, but it was just a roller coaster. It didn't take you to a different place, like in the book. I don't really remember.
So the kid from Erie, Indiana.
Yes.
Was in Hocus Pocus.
That's where we go with that. Yeah, so like I thought that was more kind of like a teen movie, not like I
agree.
It's not quite in the same.
Was it Disney?
It seems Disney-like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Whereas this was a Canadian-made movie for HBO or something, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. It wouldn't surprise me because it had. I mean, it doesn't look like its budget was very big, but it did have a few kind of notable stars like the incomparable Tim Curry
Mm-hmm.
as the Grand Wizard.
Yeah.
And the really nice house mom from, what's that show?
Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
Charlotte Rae from the Facts of Life. It had Diane Rigg from The Avengers and Rebecca, whatever that is. I'm unfamiliar with that. And starred Fairuza Balk from American History X and The Waterboy and The Craft, which is also another witch movie.
Yep.
And that remake of Wizard of Oz.
Yes, The Return to Oz.
Return to Oz.
Marvelously creepy.
So one of the treats of this film are some of the creative character names of the students and the teachers. My favorite character name, I think, is Zoe Chant Vestry. Chant dash Vestry. Chanting as in, which is chanting. Does anybody else have a favorite character name?
I like Professor Hardbroom. Miss Constance Hardbroom.
Is that her first name? I did not know her first name.
Yep.
Miss, I can't believe she's not married.
I can. She was so mean.
So they didn't give Miss Cackle a first name?
Miss Cackle, another excellent
Just
name.
Miss Cackle and then Agatha Cackle.
Yeah, twins.
And Tim Curry's name is the Grand Wizard.
That's it. That's all he needs.
You know, this movie should have had the tagline "Double Double Mildred Hubble."
Why didn't you write that? Maybe
that was one of the book's names. Like maybe she made a double of herself accidentally.
Why didn't 4-year-old Seth get on that and make that happen for this movie?
I don't remember.
I like how they've got all these names, and then all of a sudden there's just Delilah.
And Sophie Hattrick.
Hat trick?
Yes.
Oh dear. There's also Gloria Hobgoblin.
That's a nice name. Yeah.
And they switch it up once. It's Pixie Brown.
Oh, yes. And Maud Warlock. It's an old warlocking name, I'm sure. Many generations. Ethel Hollow. I think there's a Bubbles in there somewhere.
Yeah, Bubbles.
Dawn Undercover, I think I remember.
Natalie Sinister and Verity Sinister.
Bubble
Toil.
Toil.
That might be my favorite one. Goody Two Charm. Dawn Undercover.
Dawn
Yeah,
Undercover.
she was Tim Curry's favorite.
There's a Misty Meadow that just sounds like a porn star name to me.
Dawn Undercover doesn't sound like a porn star name.
It sounds like a more...
She probably plays a cop, like one of those.
Dawn Undercover is it's a porn title, I think. But
there was a character named Perfect.
Prefect.
A prefect. I can't read. I can't math. I can't internet.
Like Percy Weasley.
Yeah,
He was a
Percy
prefect.
Weasley was a prefect, so that was the prefect of that.
So I'm convinced that this is like all the parents of Harry Potter when they were in school.
Yes.
But this is like their elementary school.
yeah, it covers a whole, like, wizardry level that you don't... No, never mind. Yeah, no, they started at, like, 11 in the...
Yeah.
So this is like this is the grade school for wizardry, and it goes along with Hogwarts, you know.
It
Yeah.
does. And in fact, I think they said Mildred was a first year. I think they said she was a first year witch.
Yep.
It's probably like middle school.
6th grade, maybe.
Yeah.
And they already started learning how to use brooms.
Yeah.
I know, just like Harry.
Yeah.
And they were given their familiar animals.
Yeah.
And
They were all cats.
Yeah, all cats. There was no owl male.
Mm-mm.
No, that was not allowed there. Neither flying in cauldrons in the hallways were also not allowed.
That could be a great drinking game. Every time you saw a no flying or a no cauldron or a no cat sign.
For anybody that hasn't seen this movie, it is a bit. It's a treat. There's some very obvious green screen shots. However, they're not bad. They actually kind of work for what they're going for.
They weren't any worse than the CGI flying scenes in the first couple Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
Right.
But and they do really tout on their one really big star at the time, which was Tim Curry. He plays the Grand Wizard.
Well, let's just face it, he was playing Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Tim Curry.
Playing Tim Curry. They gave him a cape. He looked more like a vampire than a wizard.
And the rest of the outfit was probably just his street clothes.
Yeah.
Just rolled in onto set.
Yeah, he was wearing like a white tuxedo.
Tim
and
Curry.
he had a white cape that had
A bat for a bow tie.
Yeah.
That bat bow tie was working it.
The cape had like obviously like broom handles in it, so that he could make his arms look super long when it twirled around.
Or else it was those things for directing airplanes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it must have had pockets because during his big number, he kept pulling objects out of it.
Magic.
Well, it was all CG and it was kind of like a mid-level shot, so I'm pretty sure he had like a table next to him where he's pulling. He's like, I'm gonna pick up the heart and squeeze it.
He was pulling stuff out of hammer space, like in cartoons. He probably got them all from the Acme Supply Company.
Oh yeah, yeah. The evil witches who were thwarted by this 10-year-old girl who was in her first year and was
With
horrible
messy
at,
pigtails.
yeah, messy pigtails, and just horrible at all of her classes. Was able to like thwart the enemy. Like there were like 9 of them.
Yeah.
With buckshot spells.
Yeah.
Oh, those buckshot spells. Apparently what they do is they transport people to World War II movie scenes.
Buckshot's still used regularly.
Feruza probably has PTSD to this day.
Oh man,
It's pretty serious.
that's why she always plays crazy characters.
Yes.
Well, I read recently on Neil Gaiman's Tumblr that she makes candles now.
That's fitting
And
for a
he
witch.
he keeps an apiary. He has bees, and he sent her some beeswax
Really?
for her candles.
Now, how did that relationship begin, I wonder? That's what I want. How does a Feruza meet a Neil Gaiman?
I think Neil Gaiman probably just liked the craft. He seems like he was an emo kid.
He said he was a fan of hers ever since The Worst Witch and Return to Oz. He mentioned them
Really?
both
Oh, yeah.
when people were asking how he knew her.
He was like Tim Curry. He was like, I like what I see there.
Oh God.
He was like, he's right, she's not the Worst Witch anymore.
Is anybody seen my
Again, I'm
tambourine?
Oh God. At
Best line in the whole
at one
movie.
point in the song, he's singing these, just trying to rhyme anything with Halloween, and he's like, "Has anybody seen my tambourine?" And this song is annoying. It hurt my spleen.
I choose to believe he does carry that tambourine with him at all times. Just for moments like that.
I'd like to run into Tim Curry and be like, I haven't seen your tambourine.
Here it is.
And if he pulls it out, that would just be magical.
On
Like,
my
I
Walkman,
think I have
listen to
something
Rage
for you.
Against the Machine.
I found this.
Yes.
Take it. It's dangerous to go alone.
Tim Curry's like, this is why I don't do the fucking cons anymore. Oh, man. Yeah, I guess it is worth noting that there are 3 pretty big musical numbers in this.
The opening song about how growing up isn't easy,
Yeah, that's the opener.
and then the
And the
school
closer.
song
Yes.
by the evil Miss Cackle.
Which
Andy
I
Cackle.
love that song. That song's probably one of the best ones in the movie.
Awesome. Well, I guess the real school song is in there too, but
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
can't
well,
really understand it.
that's like people at Catholic Church singing a hymn, though. It's all really like monotone. And
But you know what was missing? A song about hanging out,
hanging
hanging out,
out,
hanging out,
hanging out with my
family.
family,
having ourselves a
party.
You should see Birdemic.
No, you shouldn't. But no, yeah. It just that movie, despite the funniness of the riff tracks guys, it still felt really long to me.
Actually, download the riff tracks. It's like $1.
Do they have it available as a?
Yeah, they had it
downloadable?
as a riff first. I think all of their live shows they've actually done as
Oh,
riffs
it is.
first.
It's there. Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
Oh my goodness.
And
It got
on the
1.5 stars.
On the cover, you see the only birds in the movie.
That's right.
But don't worry, they are cut and paste and used in several scenes.
Oh.
They
It's only
split.
about the last third, 25% of the movie that you actually see the birds.
Yeah. The whole first half of the movie was made just to establish that they had a lot of money so they could afford the $100 gallon gas.
And solar panels.
Solar panels.
Solar panels. Solar panels.
This movie is dark, scary.
Birdemic, lots of driving.
I wonder if I could get to like their.
Let's read
I'm giving it a 5.
Let's read the summary.
Curve.
Two lovers struggling to survive an all-out avian war against humanity team up with gun-toting campers to rescue a pair of orphaned kids.
All right, you know what?
Campers.
None of them were campers,
No.
and they didn't do it to rescue the kids. They just happened among the kids. They were like, "Hey, look, a crash. Let's see if there's any survivors."
Oh, orphans!
Orphans.
Let's take them.
Let's not take them to the police or anything.
Let's get them some sandwiches and some blurred candy
And
bars.
you know, they
But
were
denied
pretty
them having
optimistic about leaving their dead parents. They were just like, "Oh, okay, bye."
Well, I mean, I guess they're dead now. We can't.
They never asked about them. They weren't like, "I miss mom."
It's like you're a new
Nothing.
mom now, right?
We just demanded sandwich and Happy Meal.
Why couldn't they ever go into a building to avoid the birds?
I don't know.
They did, but then they were like, "No, we have to get in the car. The car is
keep
a
driving."
pivotal point."
This movie is a shameless global warming deterrent film.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Um,
like if you did not like Al Gore's film, you're really not gonna like how this just shoves it down your throat.
Yeah. They even mentioned their film. They went on a double date to Inconvenient Truth. And
That's
somehow,
right.
Yes.
somehow,
That's right.
they both got laid that night.
They were like, "You're not as boring as that film." I'm pretty sure that the main couple did not have sex because when they woke up, pants were still attached.
Well, that's just because he
That's
doesn't know
weird.
how to take pants off.
He's still wearing that black tank top. 'Cause I
Yeah.
felt like he was wearing, like, she got down to the underpants, and he was in his, like, thick shorts and woolly tank top, and he just wouldn't take it off.
He never took his pants off, but he still lost his car keys somehow.
Right.
That was one of my favorite things. It's like, I lost my car keys somehow. Can we take your van full of AK-47s?
Sure, I'm not a terrorist.
So, yeah, Birdemic. Shock and terror.
That's the whole title.
It is.
Who will survive?
Birdemic. Shock and terror. Who will survive?
It's made in 2008.
God.
But it looks like it was made in like 93.
It
Yeah.
does.
The acting and picture quality was on par with many video Sega CD games.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much what I got from it. And I love that the Rift Tracks guys did point it out. There are several areas where they were just like, we don't need sound in these spots because nobody's talking. So the sound just cuts out completely, and then the next person talks, and you can hear them talk, and background noise resume all of a sudden.
Yeah. That's something that you learn in like film class 101, that if you're gonna film dialogue and anywhere with background noise, you need to like film or record about 2 minutes of background noise to just go over your spot with no dialogue.
Huh.
Well, honestly, like you're supposed to you should have like 5-minute background noise, and then put it like low, and then put the dialogue on top of it, so it's just always happening.
Yeah, but I mean, you can loop it. You don't need
Yeah.
you don't need that big of a clip. You can just copy and loop it.
But still, it's just like, when it's not there, you notice it.
Yeah.
And they should have noticed it when they were editing. Unless they were just like, let's edit this. Alright, it's edited. I don't need to watch it. I know it's good. I did it.
There's like a scene in the very beginning where their two main characters are talking to each other outside, and it's clear that they filmed all of their lines individually and then spliced it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's awful.
What kills me is there were several scenes where it was like the edits were very uneven, and it's almost like the movie skipped.
Yeah. Like, they would pan from left to right over a scene, and at the end, they would leave about 10 seconds of the end shot.
Yeah.
And it didn't establish anything.
Yeah.
And they'd have lines where it'd be like, I just got here. Pause. Oh, good!
Need we not forget. It's like, hey, we went to high school together. Where are you from? Oh, man. Although one thing that kind of made me giggle a little bit is the Riff Tracks guys made a quote about, it's like, this is what happens when you record your movie on vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
But I actually have a more or less vinyl-based video player.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's called Videodisc. It was a very badly received competitor to Laserdisc.
Huh.
I never even knew it existed until I had my parents search for a Laserdisc player, and they came home with that instead.
Awesome.
You're like, this won't play my video discs. Or this won't play my laser discs. Parents! Curse you, Mom and Dad!
I was like, no, this is really neat. It's not what I was looking for, but it's almost as awesome.
Have you got many shows for it?
I do. I've got Back to the Future on it. I've got Swamp Thing, Count of Monte Cristo.
What?
Get him on a Crisco?
Yeah. It was the story about
he just greases cookie sheets all day.
It was a story about a guy who invented grease that was wronged by his wife's, concubine, and I don't know.
That would be excellent. We need to write that.
You heard it here first. A bcast production.
Count of Monte Cristo.
And apparently we will be replacing it. We will be releasing it on video disc exclusively.
And Betamax tapes.
And Betamax tapes.
Speaking of Betamax tapes, there is a Betamax tape in The Worst Witch.
Yes,
there is.
It's got 2 Tim Currys on it.
Yes.
You need to be careful on Halloween because there will be ghouls that will mess with your Betamax tapes.
They'll ruin all your tapes from
London to Idaho.
Yeah, from London to Idaho.
So if you live outside of that area, you might be safe.
Yeah.
Your Betamax tapes might be okay.
I think we're just out of the reach of the Betamax goblins, actually.
Yes.
I think we're like right in the middle of their awful pillaging.
Oh, no.
Aren't we? I mean, we're in Indiana, right between London and Idaho.
Oh, crap.
Well, maybe if we pray to David Bowie, he'll...
And then we're all safe.
All right. One can only hope. What other horrors come on Halloween according to the Grand Wizard's song?
Your dentist may turn into a queen.
That's right.
Unless he was a queen already.
That's right.
Your dog could turn into a cat. Oh no! There might be a toad in your bass guitar.
No.
The bass guitar that they showed didn't have it wasn't acoustic, so it didn't have a hole. So I'm pretty sure that a toad could not be in your bass guitar.
And if you notice, the guy was strumming it.
Yeah.
Because he was strumming it.
Aww. It was funny.
Your sister could turn into a bat. Christmas time brings the snow. Oh, snow and sun don't rhyme.
On
We
Halloween,
do with artistic license. Come on.
your blood
Here I'm sun and
begins to
run.
Yeah, he does.
Something
Funky
funky's
going
going
down
down now. Gremlin's gonna mess up every
Gremlins.
cassette. I thought Gremlins messed with planes.
There's
Well,
Gremlin
if
on the
they're-
wing.
Yes, there's something
It's
on the
because
wing.
planes have movies.
True.
That's wow.
From London to Idaho. April 1st can be fun. New Year's Eve is a bore.
What?
That sounds snobby.
But on Halloween, your flesh begins to crawl.
Your teacher could become a sardine.
Toenails grow long, and your hair turns green. Has anybody seen my tambourine? I may start playing Begin the Begin. Hairy, scary, creepy, crawly Halloween. What other bad things could happen on Halloween?
You could eat poisoned candy with razor blades.
Yes.
True.
Yes, that would be the worst.
Poisoned, razor bladed candy, and a little bit of a double kill.
They wanted to make sure.
Dead and dead again.
It's like I put a razor blade in so that the poison will seep into the cuts quicker.
Yes.
I put a razor blade in because you're not going to notice that there's a razor blade in this. I had to cut it to put this in there.
Speaking of which, I feel like I should mention this. This last couple of, for the last 5 days, I've watched a horror movie every day, and I'm still doing it. I've got that thing on the site. One that I really loved is called Trick or Treat.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I always see that at the video store, and I'm like, I should get this. No, I'm going to get this.
You should get it, or come over and watch it. I would bring it over, but it's Blu-ray. But
yeah, way to just rub that in there, Mike.
I'm just saying.
Now, everybody, I do not have a Blu-ray player, and we're making that very obvious.
It's okay. Most people don't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I don't feel bad.
But we're now accepting donations for the Get Mal Blu-ray player.
Yeah, Get Mal Blu-ray
Foundation.
player foundation. You can donate. I'm going to set up a donate to the bcast PayPal button. No, I'm not.
It's an offshoot of the Find Tim Curry's Tambourine.
But yeah, no, that movie was really good, and there's a character in it that uses a candy bar as like the base for his razor. Like it's like a box knife, but it holds the blade with a candy bar.
Neat.
Which was pretty interesting. So that made me think about that. It's really awesome. It's like these 4 or 5 different stories that, like, it's kind of like a creep show or Tales from the Crypt, where it's like unique stories, but they all kind of weave together. So it's like it's like the story of the night instead of the story of the characters so much.
So kind of like Love Actually.
Yeah, a little bit, but with lots of dead people.
Ah.
That's a good tagline. Love Actually with dead people.
There's a movie called The Nines with Ryan Reynolds in it. It's pretty good.
It was very odd.
Yeah, it's kind of like this guy plays MMORPG, like Second Life kind of thing, but then believes that it's his real life, and then it's kind of like Ready Player One mixed with Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Alright, that's really specific, and I'm not sure many of our listeners have read Ready Player One.
Well, you should.
They should have, yeah. That's a good book.
I recommend The Nines with Ryan Reynolds.
So Fido's fun, but it's not that great.
Yeah.
Whenever, they're like, people like that movie liked Fido, I'm like, I only kind of liked Fido, but I really liked Cemetery Man, so...
Yeah.
I'm not sure
I think Fido just kind of lived off the fame of Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
I watched the beginning of it and then never got around to finishing it.
It's one of those movies where it's like, it's a great concept, but, you don't have to watch the whole thing.
So, since we watched a children's Halloween show, growing up, what did you watch for Halloween?
Well, what did we watch for Halloween?
Yeah.
It was always kind of the same answer for like Christmas and Halloween. There's a Garfield special,
Yes.
and like a Charlie Brown special as well.
It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and the Garfield. I watched those year round though.
Yeah.
Personally, as a kid.
You would.
I watched that, and then we didn't really specifically watch any kind of kids stuff for the holidays. I was at a very young age into horror, like adult horror, because my dad was a fan, and as a result, whenever my mom was out of town, I got to be a fan too. People would probably say, "Oh, that's horrible parenting," but I love him to death for it because, I was 11. I grew up kind of quickly as far as movies go, anyways. And I just, I loved it. I got bored with all the kiddie horror stuff they tried to do. But, that's me. Anybody else have any kind of Halloween movie traditions growing up?
I remember, I don't know if you guys watched TGIF very much.
Oh, yeah.
But there was always ridiculous sitcom Halloween episodes on.
Those were always good. Plus the Treehouse of Horrors on
Sure.
The Simpsons.
Yes.
That was always
I was
good.
about to say The Simpsons horror was some of the best
Yes.
episodes out there.
Oh, I love the one with the aliens. All of the ones with the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the best.
I like the one where there's a fog that turns their skin inside out.
Oh, yeah. I like the one where they move into a haunted house and then the house eats itself.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Oh, that's like kind of like is that like Poltergeist?
Yeah.
I mean Poltergeist.
It's
Sorry.
like Poltergeist. No, it's not.
Yeah,
No.
'cause it's buried on the burial ground, or it's built on the burial ground. And
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I liked the one where Homer went through the portal into the 3-dimensional world.
Oh, that's
No.
That was my favorite one.
that was probably one of the least horror-y ones, but it's still really cool. It was more of like a sci-fi kind of a thing.
Yeah, I liked their version of the Raven.
Oh, that was good.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that episode, growing up as a kid, got me into Edgar Allan Poe. And I mean, like, if anybody out there doesn't already know Edgar Allan Poe, go read his stuff. He is like one of the like great like English writers of the whatever generation.
19th century.
Yeah, something like that. But he did like just amazing twisted stories, like classics like The Telltale Heart, The Raven. I don't remember the name of it, but there was like one where a wife killed her husband with like a rack of lamb and then
Neat.
cooked it and fed it to the police officers, thus destroying the murder weapon.
Awesome.
The Pit and the Pendulum, that's Edgar. Like, just so many great horror stories.
And they're all pretty short, too. They're probably like 20 pages tops.
Mm-hmm.
The source story, and they claim that he was the first mystery writer.
Yeah.
Oh.
That at least the popularity of mystery books.
He always had those unreliable narrators, too, which is something that I found was really cool.
Telltale Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that Poe movie come out?
Yeah.
I
The
missed
Raven?
it.
Yeah, it's out.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I do too. It's got John Cusack.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
Oh.
I thought it was awful. I really did.
That's why I didn't get a chance to see it.
I'll still go and see it. I am excited this weekend. Silent Hill.
I think it
Uprising.
should be the third one because it's in 3D. I think the third installment of every sequel kind of thing should be in 3D and none of the rest of them.
No. I mean, I agree with you for that. Like, if we could keep 3D to the third movie of every franchise, I'd be great with that. Because that means that we'd have, like, 1/3 as many, or no, 2/3 as...
2/3 fewer.
2/3 fewer 3D movies, and I think they're terrible, but,
Did you know that Hank Green made 2D glasses that you could take to 3D films?
I heard about that. That's
Is
awesome.
that really possible?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because for the most part, it's based on polarization. So if you just get the same polarized lens in each thing, you just see like a flat image.
Yeah.
That's Hank Green.
Speaking of which, I need to nerd out just a little bit. There's a cool technology that Sony had where they would. This was for PlayStation 3 for like very specific games, but they used a 3D capability to do a multiplayer. So one person's screen would be polarized one way, and the other person's screen would be polarized the other way.
Cool.
So you both got full screen on the same screen. You just had to wear the different glasses.
That's cool.
And that's probably one of the best uses of 3D technology I've heard of so far.
That is really awesome.
Yeah, I really want to see that implemented in more places, like especially at work, because people are always like, hey, you should be working, not, looking at stuff on Amazon. And I'm like, you need to be not looking over my shoulder, dude.
They could do that with movies, and then people would get different endings.
That's cool,
Or
too,
different,
yeah.
they'd see two different movies
Oh,
with
they
the same soundtrack.
That'd be hard to do.
Well, you'd have to give everybody headphones, too.
Yeah. There was a push, like, somewhere in the 90s.
That would be interesting. Like, if you were showing a kid's movie and a horror movie, and, like, kids would laugh, and then, like, people would be like, ah! Like, at the most inappropriate times.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing. It's like people who have to take their kids to the movies. They're like, alright, so you guys can see Lady and the Tramp and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Just make sure you don't mix up the glasses or headphones. I love that idea.
You'd have like red ones for kids and blue ones for adults.
It could just be like you could bring your smartphone and they could have a channel.
Yeah.
Or hand out radios. That's what they could do with all those old Walkman radios.
Man, I always liked those, like they do in cartoons all the time where they go, like Futurama, I think, did this. Where they went to a movie and they were like, if you want this to happen, press 1.
Oh, yes.
If you want this to happen, press 2. And they're like, you pressed 2. No, I pressed 1. I pressed 1.
Choose your own adventure.
Actually,
Yes.
they had a couple of movies like that back in like the 90s. They were like these special theaters that were outfitted with like little buttons, and you'd like, do you want the person to do this or do you do that? And like everybody voted, whichever got the most votes was what happened.
That's great.
I thought it was really neat. Not surprisingly, it didn't catch on because
That would have been really awesome for Clue.
it would
Yeah.
have, yeah. Well, the logistics of it are a nightmare. Like they'd have to release them as video games. You can't just release them as movies, and so I don't know. But
Actually, Final Destination 3, the DVD release, was a choose your own adventure.
really,
Yeah. It's really cool. Like, every time there was a thing where you could choose what to do, it would pause and it would be like, push left on your remote for this and push right on your remote for this.
now is that a mode or is that the default movie view?
That's the default movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to check those out, and I have even more.
I think I have it.
I'll have to
look
borrow it
for
or
it.
something.
Or
But-
get it again. I don't know. But it was awesome. And it didn't really change much.
It's just like the difference of how they died.
Yeah.
It's still really
There was actually like one or two of them that got to go a little bit further in the movie, but once you reach a certain point, they would still die. But it was awesome.
Choose your own adventure books taught me that I make poor choices.
So the third one's the one with the roller coaster.
I guess.
Yes. Okay, if you choose not to get on the roller coaster, the movie ends right away.
That's funny.
Yeah, and in the background they're just like, There's like this explosion and everyone's like, wow, I'm glad I didn't get on that roller coaster.
Let's go get a funnel cake.
It's like, hey, everybody, I hear an explosion, but I'm cool, so I'm not going to look. Wow. So, I have really been loving like watching a new horror movie every day, and I'm thinking that I'm going to have to keep that up. Not every day, but I kind of want to do it as like a steady feature, where I like just review like maybe 2 DVDs a week, like maybe one that I like and one that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
And
Just make up a review for it.
yeah, well, I mean,
I read the back of this DVD.
no,
and,
no.
Well,
I mean, like, I'll watch one that I already know that I like, and then I'll grab ones like the fetus monster of Nantucket, and I'm like, this could be awesome,
Who kept
or
his
it could
bets
be
in a
terrible.
bucket?
Yep. So. Oh, that sounds like
Fetus Monster was a top hat.
nice.
Kills people with a top hat. No, last night in Birdemic, when the bird like slit that guy's throat, I was like, "Get the duct tape." That works in B movies, right?
Decapitated.
That was epic. I still love that movie.
As well you should. As well you should.
Highly recommend Decapitated. So worth it. It's worth every crazy scene.
So how many new, like, awesome movies to recommend people do you think that you've experienced since we started this?
13.
13?
Yeah. 13. Well, 12.
12?
I don't recommend Audition.
True.
It was kind of awful.
And we didn't actually watch a movie on the first one, so...
No, we didn't. That was like an intro. Like, hey, we're doing this thing. Maybe.
Yep.
And we did.
If you can find it, I recommend the movie The Pool.
Let's see if it's on Netflix.
Pretty good. It hasn't been every time I've checked. A group of friends and I rented that in college, thinking it would be silly
It's
to make fun of, and it actually turned into
The
a pretty
swimming
good.
pool?
No, just The Pool.
No.
It's a pretty decent slasher flick with some creative kills, at least to somebody who hadn't seen a lot of slasher flicks at the time. Anyway,
Let's see what.
I plan on revisiting the movie Barn of the Naked Dead at some point.
Barn of the Naked Dead.
It was terrible.
That's
and
the one.
False advertising all out the ass. It's basically a movie that has a barn. It has a barn,
And here it is.
but I don't think there's any nudity. And I don't know if anybody was actually dead, so...
It's just another one we rented to make fun of is called Ninja Vengeance.
Vengeance.
And it took a long time for the ninja to get around to his vengeance. I don't think he actually got around to it.
I don't think so either. There's that, and then there was another one I remember where it was like fish that
was
were
called-
eating people.
That was called Dagon. That is based on a book by... I can't remember his name. H.P. Lovecraft.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's called Dagon. We rented it thinking, one to make fun of, and then it was just disturbing.
I remember a lot of torsos of people who were half eaten.
Yes. It's gross.
So if you like gross, watch that.
Yes. That might be a good one for you guys to review for the podcast.
Dagon. Oh yeah, because there was that chick, and then they fed her to Dagon.
Yes.
No wait, he impregnated her and then he ate her.
Something. It's
It's 2 sacrifices.
Yes.
scary.
One of them's a virgin.
Well, that is a way to always make sure you have a virgin for virgin sacrifice. Knock somebody up.
There's a vampire movie where the main character, so he doesn't get fed on again by the vampire, he and his girlfriend, or the girl that he's interested in, I think, have sex in the casket. It's a funny movie. I think it's called Once Bitten.
Oh! The one with Jim Carrey?
Was it Jim Carrey, or was it that guy that looks like Jim Carrey?
Once Bitten has Jim Carrey.
I think it might be that one.
Once bitten, you won't feel no pain. Once bitten.
Penny's enthralled by our conversation.
We should see Once Bitten. Yeah, it's funny because it's like this girl who has to feed. She's a vampire and she has to feed on a virgin once every so often.
But doesn't she take it from the vein of the leg?
Yes. Yeah, it's a very early Jim Carrey movie, and it's very interesting. I like it. It's not like anything you'd expect from him, but
Whereas Rubberface is terrible.
Oh, speaking of Rubber, we should totally review Rubber. Because
I
it was
thought you
awful.
hated it.
I do hate it, but we should still review it.
Are you talking like just a review on the site, or do you want to do a podcast on it?
Both.
All right.
For no reason.
For no reason?
For no reason.
Hey, I am all for watching bad movies and doing a podcast. I've got like a backlog of a million things I want us to watch.
We're watching Halloween. Poor Michael Myers. He's just looking for the night door. Actually, I think I wrote about that in one of the posts.
And I'm pretty sure we've mentioned on it like 4 or 5 different podcasts. Because I was amused.
And, Jason is just really bad with shapes. No, Michael Myers is bad with shapes. Jason's doing PSAs.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Kids, don't have sex, or I'll kill you.
Don't drop the soap in the shower.
Or I'll kill you.
Don't ride your bike alone at night.
Or I'll kill you. I don't like the voice I had for Jason there. I don't know what voice he would have.
Or maybe it's more like this. Hey, kids.
Say now, having sex in the woods? None of that.
Don't do that or I'll kill you.
Camping?
It's like, oh, you kids.
Swimming with no clothes on?
Making country time lemonade. Jason doesn't approve.
You live in a log house. You shaved your head to look like me.
With the mask, you probably sound like this.
Hey, stop that!
Jason, honey, use your words.
Come on, you guys!
Solar panels.
So has everybody seen Jason Goes to Hell?
Yeah.
I have not.
I don't think so.
It's the fun one where we find out that Jason, spoilers, but it's really old, so
Screw you.
Did you ever figure out what the window of opportunity for spoilers was?
We watched the spoilers
I think it's like,
PSA.
I think 5 years is probably good.
That's fair.
If you're listening to a podcast that does reviews,
Yeah.
you kind of just opted yourself into seeing a lot of spoilers.
Yeah, like, you just kind of expect it. Like, I've kind of gotten a little bit of Walking Dead spoiled for me because I've started listening to horror podcasts a lot, strangely enough, because you know, the best artists steal.
Oh, yeah. It's also the best flattery.
Yep. So, Jason Goes to Hell is the 9th Friday the 13th film. It is where we discover that Jason is actually a hell worm that people eat and it inhabits their body. Well, they don't necessarily eat. He just has to get inside you, and he possesses a new body. And
Which I think probably started in the Corey Feldman one.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
And so, because the Corey Feldman one, that was Jason, the final chapter, that was supposed to be where they killed him off. It was number 4. They do that a lot, though. It's like the final chapter, part 4 of 10. But yeah, so Jason's this hellworm, and he goes from host to host. And that entire movie, he spends all of like 2 minutes as actual Jason. And he's just like this coroner, and then he's like this housewife, and then he's like, you know.
So it's kind of like the Dax
aliens.
Yeah.
The symbiote, it's kind of a symbiotic relationship, except for he hollows out your body and kills people. So, not quite symbiotic.
Well, the first guy, like, ate his heart.
Yeah, but the heart was, like, calling to him. It's like, boom, 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 boom.
Like,
I'm black and nummy.
It was like, kill her, mommy, kill her.
Also, Freddy vs. Jason. More of that. That was a good movie.
That movie was so implausible.
I know.
Children were not allowed to wear hats in school.
I remember that. That was your big thing. I was
and all
surprised.
those hat-wearing children were having a rave in a cornfield.
Which also is not very plausible. I personally just loved the fact that I don't know if I loved it, but I was just like surprised that they actually made a story for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just every horror fan's boner for like years. They were just like, yeah, let's pit Freddy versus Jason. You didn't have to have a story. You just get them both on screen and have them try and kill each other and kill people in the process. That's all you need. But
I'm surprised they haven't just done that with every classic horror character.
You know, they should have done that with Michael Myers. With whoever won Freddy vs. Jason should have fought Michael Myers.
There have been plans for a Jason versus Leatherface. I think Ash was supposed to get him there.
How is Jason?
I think
supposed
that
to
happened
get
in
to
the comic
Texas?
series.
Yeah, I actually own the comic Freddy vs. Jason versus Ash.
That would be
I
interesting.
read that. That was awesome.
There's been a lot of them planned, and I'd love to see some more. I don't know if it's going to happen, but
Yeah, but nobody won in Freddy vs. Jason.
Jason won.
Neither one of them won.
Jason won.
No?
Alright, so at the end of the movie, Jason walks out of the fucking river holding Freddy's head.
But Freddy is all a dream anyway. And
But he had been made real.
He's been reduced to head before, and at the very end, before the credits,
Alright, but
he
you know
smiles.
what? You know what?
Like, this was all my plan all along.
Yes, but
Doesn't he wink?
Yeah, he smiles and winks.
he was a head, and Jason was still all Jason.
Yeah,
So
but
he
Freddy
won.
speaks English.
So?
He could be, possessing Jason.
You know what would be awesome though? Jason versus Michael Myers. It could be an entirely silent film.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be done with the old-timey style.
And song cards like Slice.
Michael Myers would be like, Jason, are you a knife drawer? And Jason would be like, are you a knife drawer?
And at the end they'd be like, we both found the knife drawer.
Yay!
Then-
Or they can like get trapped in internal backstabbing. It was the only way to kill both of them was to
Jason
get each
and
other
Michael
dead.
are doing the bro hug. It's like tap, tap, tap.
And they're stuck there forever because neither one of them will die. They're like, die already! God, I've been standing here for 9 years!
I also saw one where they tried to explain how Michael always came back from the dead. And it involved a cult and the stars. I don't remember it exactly, and I'm not entirely sure which one it was.
I don't know. I think it was the back of the third movie said something weird like that, and that's why I rented it.
The third movie has nothing to do.
I know, and I was like, what is this shit? But like the back of the third movie VHS says something weird like witches are bringing Michael Myers back to life with some weird ritual thing.
Sometimes I think the people who write the summaries of movies that are on the backs of the boxes and
Yeah, they don't watch it.
yeah, they don't watch it.
Like their sister watched it and they were like, "Hey, can you tell me about this?" And he's like, "I don't know, I was kind of drunk."
Kind of sounds like somebody's mom explaining.
Yeah, yeah, that could be it too. Wow.
Well, Jason was playing the Nintendos and
I think
got all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
I think like the freaking movie summarizer job for the back of the case is one where people don't pay a lot of attention, so sometimes they get a little bit vindictive and like fudge a few details, or put the summary for the Princess Bride on the back of Striptease, or I mean,
Or vice versa.
Yeah, we're gonna watch this awesome. Oh, what is this?
it's like, Timmy, this is not a family movie.
Read the back, Mom.
Oh well, I must be wrong.
I'm guessing that all those nude scenes are just, about how the princess feels really vulnerable right now.
And then Jason walks in and stabs them. Don't have sex, Mom. This movie's really weird, Timmy.
Oh, Timmy.
Oh, Timmy. No, my friend Kevin Whitaker was talking about how Michael Myers always comes back. He voted for Jason as well.
Nice.
And I was like, I don't know, Michael Myers is always coming back from strange things. And he's like, well, that's always explained at the beginning of the next movie.
I don't know. I haven't seen another Michael Myers movie since The Love Guru. So. I don't know if he's springing back from that one.
That one was pretty bad.
That's not the same Michael Myers.
No.
You! Oh, you!
The thing about Michael Myers is he always comes back, but Jason didn't die
Sometimes
for like
he
8
comes back
movies.
from the 60s.
Yep, yeah.
Sometimes he comes back as an ogre. He's got many layers.
He does. I want to know where the Michael Myers in Space movie is. There's a Jason in Space movie.
There's not a Freddy in Space movie.
Yeah.
No.
But there's a Leprechaun in space. There's Hellraiser in space.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for Jason in the Hood.
Oh, God. Jason's already been to the Hood.
No, Jason just goes camping and to Manhattan every once in a while. Never to the Hood.
Jason in the Hood should just be close up on Jason's face. Picks up a hood, tightens it.
Oh, God.
And
They
then
would
walks
do that,
away.
too. He would be, like, wearing a hoodie the whole time.
Yeah.
And he'd learn how to do drive-bys. I don't know.
Speaking of which, how did Michael Myers learn to drive a car?
Yeah, who's
He's just a
talking?
regular dude. He probably, he was like 11 when he was institutionalized. I'm sure 11-year-olds know the basics.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's not that hard to pick up. And if you have no respect for human life, that's a great learning tool, actually. It's like, it's okay if I hit somebody. I don't care.
Yes. So he didn't go through driver's ed, you're saying?
Probably not.
No,
Okay, gotcha.
Of course, back in the 70s when it all happened, parents would teach their kids how to drive when they were like 6.
It's true.
I think Rob Zombie might have taught him for the new movie.
Yeah, maybe. There's an alternate ending to that.
There is.
Yeah, I posted it on my alternate ending post.
Yeah.
Did any of you guys watch a movie, rent a movie that you didn't know a lot about, and watch it with your parents when you were younger, and immediately feel ashamed that you picked that movie, or just it's oh wow, I wish I didn't do this.
Yeah, I was 15 years old and I picked up Pound Puppies.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "Why do you always pick cartoons, Mallory?" And I was like, "Shut up!" They're like, "Why don't you get a boyfriend or something?" That didn't happen.
Probably, but I don't remember.
I always did the thing where I'd be like, "Hey, we should watch Pulp Fiction," and then halfway into it, I'm like, "Oh yeah, a man gets raped in this movie. They cuss a lot, and that woman almost overdoses on heroin."
Yeah, except for my dad was like, "I just bought Pulp Fiction today. You want to watch it with?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Okay."
I'm trying to remember the first horror movie I ever saw. It might have been I don't know if you can count this, but The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. And
that
movie
movie still creeps me out.
that counts. That movie's
It really counts. It's probably one of my favorites.
yeah.
I think I
can't continue. I can't watch that movie still.
Yeah. I think that was my first one. I think I was a little young for that one.
My mom picked that out. Yeah, we all watched it as a family. She's like, "This is why I'm never adopting any of your cousins."
Yeah, I've met some of your cousins. They're shady characters.
Jake. No, not Jake.
I don't know what the first one I saw was. A lot of the I'd see them and I'd be like, "Oh, this isn't so bad," and then I'd be trying to fall asleep and I'd be like, "Freddy."
Yes.
No. The one that I remember seeing and it scared me wasn't actually a horror movie, but it was kind of a parody of that kind of thing in a way. Was a Monty Python sketch called The Salad Days or something like that, where they're all on having a garden party and they're all dressed up nice, and then everybody's limbs start getting cut off and there's blood everywhere. And it scared me when I saw it when I was little.
Yeah.
I watch it now and it's hilarious, but
Oh man, there's this one animated sketch in Monty Python's Meaning of Life where this tree falls off, or this leaf falls off a tree, and it goes, "Ah!" And then this other leaf goes, Gerald, oh my god, I can't live without you! Ah!
That's heartbreaking.
And then the little leaves are like, "Mom, Dad, oh no, Mom and Dad!" Ah! And then
all of them. The Ultimeers.
I think my first horror movie was Steel Magnolias. Roberts is scary.
I think I was more scared by parts of children's movies than actual horror films.
Children's movies got real dark in the 80s, and parents thought they were children's movies a lot of the time just because they were animated, not for children.
And Muppety, yes. Like Gremlins, I remember seeing really young and being very scared.
Yeah.
The Goonies. It was it's mostly an adventure film, but there's some dark moments in that.
We have to watch that because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we do. Although, I'm sad because, I don't know if you'll love it as much as you should because you're not a
It
kid.
probably won't have the same effect, but it's still...
Well, I can revert back to childhood mind for that day. Be like, man, I really would have loved this as a kid.
There we go.
I know a lot of people are scared of the Large Marge scene in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. Where she's telling this story. There's a trucker that picks him up and she's telling the story about a burning or steaming wreckage. And it looked just like this! And then there's this Tim Burton claymation thing. That didn't scare me as much as the clown doctors in one of his nightmares. That's the part that scared me from that movie.
What about Little Monsters? Did you guys ever watch that when you were younger? I love that movie.
That was a good movie.
But that main monster did get pretty freaking scary.
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid of Gene Wilder. Still am. He's creepy.
That scene in Willy Wonka scared a lot of people.
Yeah, that's right. In the tunnel.
Yeah.
That was a little... Was it like a dentist pulling teeth or something weird?
I remember it was
Or
like
an
chickens getting-
eyeball?
It was
There
a
was-
worm going over Slugworth's face.
And there was a
Yeah.
chicken's head getting cut
That's
off.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was weird.
that was. The classic monkey scene in Wizard of Oz. Or the monkey scenes. The
Yeah.
monkeys in general. They were pretty scary.
The whole Watership Down movie. Scary.
Oh, it's good.
It's good. Scary. I'm reading it.
The cartoon.
The book.
I'm saying the movie, the cartoon one.
Yeah.
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 There's a movie called Spaced Invaders about these like Martians that like land on Halloween,
I remember seeing.
and like yeah, it's not really. It can be a little bit creepy. It was actually just like a good kind of kid Halloween movie. These aliens like are trying to get their spaceship fixed so they can get back into space, and like people are trying to hunt them down and stuff. And that was a good little movie.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about cartoons that are very not appropriate for kids.
All dogs go to heaven.
That was alright.
Oh, I remember that being kind of depressing when I was a kid.
But it had a happy ending.
That's true. He went to heaven.
Yeah.
And the girl got adopted.
Yeah.
Spoilers, sorry.
Sorry.
That's true.
Carface died and went to hell. He went to heaven, actually. And he's like, I'm not dead yet, clock. She's like, don't touch the clock.
I never saw the sequel.
No, it was not good.
Uh,
There was also a Saturday morning TV show.
that's right.
Yeah.
There was also
The second one was Charlie was actually Charlie Sheen.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah.
There was a Little Shop of Horrors cartoon
That was
series.
awesome.
I vaguely remember seeing it, and I remember building an Audrey 2 out of Marble Works. Because I
Yeah.
thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was called Little Shop.
Nice.
And weren't they kids?
Yeah, they were kids.
And there was a Teen Wolf cartoon that I don't really remember very well, but I love the Teen Wolf movie, the first one.
Does anyone remember the Tales from the Crypt cartoon?
Oh yes, Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
That was
I
just
I just remember the show. They had a cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Tales from the Crypt
They
Keeper.
also had a game show.
There's so many kids cartoons based on things that were not for kids, like Little Shop of Horrors,
Back to the Future,
Back
Bill
to
and
the
Ted,
Future, Bill and
Toxic
Ted.
Crusaders.
Toxic Crusaders.
Is that a Bubsy cartoon?
Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Was
Beetlejuice was
Oh, Beetlejuice. I love that cartoon,
Me
though.
too.
It was good. I liked that movie when I was a kid too, though.
That's a good movie.
The Mask.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's right.
There was an Ace Ventura cartoon,
Mhm.
too. I
Yeah.
loved both of those.
Did you say Back to the Future?
Yeah.
There's Back.
Yeah.
Was there a Dumb and Dumber cartoon? I feel like there was for like
I think you're right.
Probably.
an episode or two.
Yeah, I don't think it went far.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
The new Ghostbusters.
The real
Yes.
Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, real Ghostbusters. One of them's in a wheelchair.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Because they had to call it the real Ghostbusters because there was another cartoon by Filmation that did like He-Man and all those other marvelous '80s cartoons
Uh-huh.
where it was two guys and the ghosts that they fought were more like Dracula, the Merman.
Okay.
And they had
Like Scooby Doo ghosts.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was two guys in a gorilla, and they had a car that talked, and it was pretty good. And that, I believe, is actually based on an old black and white TV series.
Called the Ghostbusters? Huh.
If you look, you can look it up, and it's like the theme song's like the Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters, and then it's like the Ghostbusters did it again.
Wow.
And I've never actually seen the old TV series. I just saw that online one time, but the cartoon was actually pretty good. They would say, "Let's go Ghostbusters," and then they went through into their wardrobes, and this machine took off their clothes and put on their Ghostbuster uniforms. And instead of like the
I imagine that's what happened to Batman and Robin when they slide down the poles.
something like that, or they stop off in a room and change, and cut. But their guns weren't they didn't have the string, the nuclear reactor on the back thing, unlicensed nuclear reactor. But it had shot goo or something on the
Goo.
ghost guys. I don't remember what they did after that with them. But
Yeah, I don't know. Like, showed you. You're all covered in goo now.
Oh no, what'll I ever do?
So the more famous Ghostbusters had to start calling themselves the real Ghostbusters.
Like Ghostbusters did.
Yeah. Ghostbusters! Seriously.
That's great.
On the WB.
Yes. But it's worth checking out. I have it on DVD now. I'd love to see the old black and white TV series. I've just seen the theme song and stuff.
Somebody remember Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby?
Oh,
Yes. And he's all like, I'm in a trunk. No, I'm not in a trunk. Let me out of here. Wait, I'm a ghost.
Doesn't he fall into the carpet?
Yes. And was he stuck in a mirror? Or he could only look through a mirror or something?
I just wanted to bring up Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, that's the scariest one forever in my mind. The little girl stuck in the mirror episode. That was the scariest one.
All the
ever.
scary ones were the ones with the gypsy that had the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that. Was that the one that had the mask? Or was that a Goosebumps book? There was one where this girl picked up this mask and then couldn't get it off,
I
or
think that was a Goosebumps book.
her face became
Yes, that was.
her face became the mask. Or
Yeah,
something.
that was Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I want the full run of Are You Afraid of the Dark, though. I used to love that.
It used to
Oh,
be
I like
on
the one where
Netflix.
those kids got lost in the woods and they broke the compass and they're like, it always points north. I don't understand. It's a compass. Ah!
Yeah, I think that episode they were going on about the riddle, like what can you put in a box that makes it lighter?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a hole, everyone. If you're
Yeah.
ever faced with a riddle that will save your life, the answer's probably nothing or a hole.
Yeah.
Or if you're facing the Sphinx, it's mankind.
Yeah.
Human
Or 42.
Yes.
True.
And you can only go into the forest halfway.
And if Justin Timberlake or Andy Samberg gives you a present, don't open it. I want to see a fight movie between Jamie Lee Curtis and Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah!
That would be pretty awesome.
That'd be epic.
Well, it's kind of strange, though, because Sigourney Weaver's skill is kicking ass, whereas Jamie Lee Curtis's skill is just not dying. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would be really fascinating.
Well, at the end of True Lies, wasn't she also an international spy? Or
No.
a CIA person?
She was married to one, and they kind of got to the point where they were working.
I think at the end, though, she joined.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. It's been a while since I've
Because
seen
they
it.
called her at the end, and he was all like, oh, I'm not working today. And they're like, we want to talk to your wife.
Plus, couldn't she also call upon the awesome power of Buster Rhymes?
Couldn't she just be like, couldn't she just rub her scent on Sigourney Weaver and then Michael Myers can go after her?
Because he does work by scent. Does that also hug drives? Head out the window.
It just kind of makes me think of, like, that's like the special move. She's like, it's like, I filled up my special bar. Form of Michael.
Shape of a knife drawer.
But then Sigourney Weaver gets in her mech.
She's like, your knives are no match for my mech.
The bcast. Our knife drawer is full of hammers.
Oh, snap.
For April Fool's Day, you should record a bcast episode where you just review B movies. Like, the B movie.
Yeah, how about bees?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aquila and the Bee.
Aquila and a bee. Not that kind of bee. Aquila?
Or we could just call it the C-cast. It's like, we got done with B. So our first movie today, Casper.
Now, is The Worst Witch a B movie? Would you consider it a B movie?
I think we consider everything we want to consider a B movie a B movie. We're like, we want to review this. It's a B movie. Like, we reviewed 7.
7 was done.
No.
The Land Before Time 4.
Oh, no, there's like 18 of those now. I have
We'll talk about
14 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, what else?
So, like, Lifetime movies?
Yeah, Lifetime movies. With Kirsten Dunst, and she's all like, I'm pregnant. Oh, no.
Some of those get pretty scary, though.
Yeah. No, that's why my mom never let me play outside. She's like, you stay inside and watch Freddy vs. Jason because you can't play outside because you'll get kidnapped. And raped and murdered, and I won't find you for 12 years, and you'll be all like, I am an Amish person. I don't know.
Murdered into snails.
That's right. Murdered into snails.
Bcast. Murdered into snails.
See, I worry about like being too careful about like don't go out there because there's people who'll kidnap you. Because I always think about that like story in Haunted by Polinick, where this
I've read
girl.
I haven't read all of it yet.
Oh,
Go ahead.
There's like this girl who's like her mom is always like, now if your dad ever touches you, you let me know. Or, if he ever pulls down your pants and da-da-da-da, so you let me know. And so she's got, her mom kind of like, gets her in this mind frame where she's always expecting her dad to molest her. And so, like, where she's just, her dad just wants to be her dad, like, and have a relationship. He goes to the zoo the whole time. She's just like, this guy's going to molest me. And it ruins the relationship with her father. And, like,
So Lifetime is ruining everyone's future.
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
I think there's some truth in that, actually.
You know what, though? I did not expect this, but one time on Lifetime, they showed Resident Evil.
Really?
Yeah, and I watched it. I watched the hell of it, and I was like...
Is there an abusive husband in there?
No, but it's like, the whole channel's about, like, empowering women and
True.
stuff, and Alice is a badass.
Well, they should show the worst witch.
They should.
That's right. That's a whole castle full of powerful ladies
Except for those couple dudes.
with the feathered
Oh,
bullets.
man.
Harry
You know,
Potter.
like, one of those girls are probably listening to the bcast going, that was me. They said I look like a boy.
I got so many compliments on my fro bullet redhead atrocity.
I was playing Ron's mom.
Well, I'm
It was
sorry, but
artistic direction.
I'm sorry, but probably at the time of the filming of that movie, I had a similar haircut. So
But you, sir, are a boy.
true.
So there's an Iron Man 3 trailer out.
I haven't seen it yet.
Looks awesome.
It's directed by somebody else.
It
Does it,
still
have,
has Robert Downey Jr.
does it have Don Cheadle in it again?
Yes.
Then I'm there.
You like Don Cheadle?
I do. I once had a dream where I referred to somebody as a reverse Don Cheadle.
What?
And I've been trying to figure it out ever since. And so I've seen a few movies of his. I'd like to keep seeing more because he's a very good actor. So if anybody knows what a reverse Don Cheadle is, I'm all ears.
That sounds like a position.
I know. I immediately thought of CanadianSexX.org.
Or WWF wrestling holds. Oh, he's got a reverse Don Cheadle on him.
That's right.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and on that note, goodbye.
Remember, kids, don't do that.
Because we're done hanging out.
Hanging out. Hanging out with the
Hanging
family.
out with the family.
Having ourselves
The
a
bcast.